Hello and welcome back to This or That with Kobe and Jack, presented by Verizon. Fresh off one of the best games of the split.
That was a good one.
EG and FlyQuest, that was a bang.
The Ayla Vulcan payoff. Good stuff.
Vulcan gets the trash talk for so long now. It's actually insane. Let's get to the slides.
Yeah, 6 slides today. This or that. Aurelion Sol Takeaway. Team should be slamming it or it needs more time to cook. You're the chef.
I think they should be slamming it. It has 2 things that increase in scaling max health damage, and one of them is an execute.
Yeah, I think Palafox has slammed it twice. He first picked it today. He is the best one at stacking whatever it is you stack. Stardust, yeah. It's like the Senesouls, where the good players are already good at min-maxing it, and like the other players are not. So yeah, team should be slamming it. I think we're gonna.
It's not very complicated to stack, by the way.
It's gonna eventually
execute stuff with your singularity. Breathe on people.
Watch Bjergsen's game. He wasn't doing it. Slide number 2. On this or that. Which bot duo is harder to play in pro?
Xayah and Rakan or Aphelios and Thresh? What is harder to play?
Yeah.
I feel like it is harder to play Aphelios Thresh because Aphelios does not have the ult get out of jail free card. That being said, it is pretty difficult in setting up those godlike blade caller moments for Xayah. Looking at just the AD carry side of it, Rakan is a bit more dangerous to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
I think like this one's more difficult.
Yeah, he thinks that is more difficult. Aphelios Thresh, guess what says on slide. I think this with Xayah Rakan is more difficult just because it's not as strong in lane. You need to play on slimmer margins, and then the engages are snappier. Whereas Thresh, you just kind of get to slowly. It's like.
So you think it's easier to just lock yourself in place and throw out your death sentence and hope for the best?
Yeah. Like throwing something is easier than like flying towards something.
Okay. Rakan head first.
Slide number 3.
Way more difficult.
We're done with this one.
Next slide. More overrated. This is from TheHamoodz. Thank you. By the way, if you leave a comment in YouTube, you might be up here with us.
And I heard a producer note. I don't know, it's kind of a cowardly take. He says he doesn't think either of these players is overrated. He just wanted to make that clear. But he wants to know which is more overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
If in this theoretical world, one of these players were overrated, which one would it be, Chat? Vicla or Spica?
It's Spica.
I think Vicla for sure. Are you freaking kidding me? Did you see that last game, the early game with the Talia?
Listen,
Spica is a god.
One of these players is more overrated, but
it's more relative. One of them has to be more overrated than the other. They can't be tied.
Is more relatable. He talks more on Twitter, so people are just going to have a more favorable opinion of him on general, so he's more likely to be overrated.
Vicla is getting topped up so much by people thinking LCK, godlike, but he has had a lot of bad games.
This last one.
Spica, though.
They both lost. Slide number or something. Do you agree with Doublelift? Sad results need to fix our early game to even have a chance of playing, or there is more to diagnose.
I definitely think that they need to fix early game first to have a chance of playing. That's what comes first, though. Of course, there is also more to diagnose, so
a lot of times in this or that, I want to say both, but you have to pick one. So would they actually, is this the most important thing, or is the rest of it
I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with fix that early game right now, because it is looking horrendous.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I said, yep.
Got it. Next slide, baby.
I agree with Doublelift. Prince gets traded to T1. Who is a stronger MVP candidate? Cloud9, Fudge, Golden Guardians River, EG Vulcan. That was a pretty sick. He's had a lot of good Thresh games.
Fudge.
Fudge?
Yeah. MVP is the whole split. I thought his week 1 was incredible. They're behind FlyQuest, only 1 game back. We got 2 games back for Golden Guardians. River has been good, but I just think compared to other top laners who are having a hard time making an impact, Fudge has been head and shoulders above the rest.
Fudge is pretty good. I'd say River's got a very good case for himself as well, doing so much for Golden Guardians. A lot of their games, they had to rely on him to be able to get to that big win streak and get into the conversation at the top.
Last week for Player of the Week, it was 5 votes to 4, River and Gory. I know why River won. I voted
River.
Yeah. I understand. All right, slide number 6. I understand where you're at. This or that, another YouTube slide by Turd Boy. Apparently,
Turd Boy is a regular.
Great slides. He's a regular. This, TSM, or that, Team Liquid Honda, more likely to make it to spring playoffs. They're tied in the standings.
Woo, man.
And they play now.
I'm gonna go TSM, honestly. I know you have some bias going on here for both of these orgs. How do you decide? You worked for Team Liquid,
I did.
And you kind of almost worked for TSM.
I mean, it depends on if you believe the conspiracy theories. This is a weird thing. I'm going to say Team Liquid Honda because the theme of
because
this
they actually paid you.
is the early game. Their early game is much better. That becomes more relevant as the season progresses and
So
teams
back
are
to
able
the
to fix some of
Doublelift
their
slide.
issues.
We've got a theme emerging.
Yep, and they beat Golden Guardians yesterday. Did TSM do that? No, they didn't. So
Fair
they're on a
enough.
hot streak.
Fair enough.
That's a wrap for this or that. Remember to send your suggestions in the YouTube comments. 2 of them got used on this one out of 6. Maybe we get more next time.